Hey friends. Okay, so this video, I don't know if this is going to be my only video today, but if not, if it is, well, this is not going to be really a tutorial per se. This is to help out a YouTuber friend and faithful subscriber. I actually had a couple who were struggling on this week's Duck Duck dishcloth. I have already completed mine in my own way. So this week's Duck Duck dishcloth that Missy's Ducks over at Missy's Yarniverse and More have chosen was the triangle block. Well, just looking at that, that just kind of looks like a square going back and forth with like clusters or something, right? Well, when you read the pattern, you're actually doing, it says right in the pattern right here, it says to make 4. Well, that right there tells you that's in 4 parts, right? Well, in this video, you're going to get a tiny sneak peek of what I did because, well, I have to show you so you know. So I did not do the border color. I didn't do the color change like the pattern says. I kind of had to do my own thing and make 4 triangles. So I made 2 green and 2 white, and then I did a simple single crochet border on mine. Okay. What I'm thinking that is the struggle is probably not just making the triangle but okay, words. Let me back up. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, most of us know how to do a standard crocheted corner to corner. Does that make sense? However, this wants you to make the triangles, right? Okay, so let's do this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start. I'm going to show you how to start a corner to corner, and then I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to finish the triangle until we get to row 7, because row 8 is going to be the finishing row to make the triangle, where you're going to make the triangle edge straight. Okay. So hold on one second. I want to show you something. Okay. What I'm going to show you here, this is row 8 rows of corner to corner. And I got ahead of myself because I wasn't reading the pattern for row 8, and I just did, thinking it was going to be corner to corner all the way through, right? Well, how are you going to connect your triangles and sew them together if you have jagged edges like this? So what's going to happen when we get to row 8 is we're going to eliminate all of these jagged edges here, okay? So let's get started on how to start your corner to corner. We're just going to do a slip knot on our hook, like so. And I am using, now for my dishcloth, I used a 4mm dots hook. We are going to, for this demonstration purpose, I'm going to use a 5mm dots hook, and I'm just using standard Mainstays cotton yarn for this. So the way I learned how to do the corner to corner is you are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, hold on to that third chain, and then count 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to double crochet back into that 4th chain, which is where you were holding your thumb, and we're going to double crochet, leaving, now you have 2 double crochets. We're going to go back down, and we're going to go to the next one down. And I hope you can see this. I hope this is making sense. I'm not real good at doing this kind of thing. So now we have 3. And double crochet again into that last chain. My yarn's wanting to split. Hold on, back up. We're going back again. All right, there we go. And I know I hold my yarn funny. I know, but it's what works for me and what works for my hands. Okay, so this now is considered our first block. Okay, can you see that? That is considered our first block. We have essentially 3 double crochets and then the chain 3 space. So now we want to go on to row 2. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, hold that 3, 4, 5, and 6. Double crochet into that 4th chain from the hook. And then go down to the next one, double crochet. I'm struggling a little bit because like I said, I used a 4mm last night on mine. And then we're going to go to this last chain. It's kind of hard to see. It kind of hides and my camera's not wanting to focus. It's right here. So we're going to want to go on to that. If I can... I'm trying to look at my camera and I'm trying to look at my crochet project at the same time. Okay, so now we have something that looks like this, right? So what you're going to do now is you're going to take this first block that we made and we're going to flip it up. And then you're going to go into this chain 3 space right here at the top and we're going to slip stitch into that. Slip stitching is just like this. Okay, now you got something that looks like this. Now make sure this string is always pointed down so that you know your work is facing the right direction. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to put 3 more double crochets into this chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we have completed, this is gappy because like I said, I'm using a bigger hook. We have 2 rows. How do you know how many rows you've completed? Well, here's 1 block, so that's 1 row. Here's 2 blocks, that's 2 rows, right? All right, so let me get you started on a 3rd row, and then I'm gonna go ahead and finish this until row 7, and then I'll come back and show you how to get the straight edge. So let's count 6. 1, 2, 3, grab that number 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull some more yarn here. Okay, and now we're going to go double crochet into that 4th chain from the hook, like so, and then we're going to go down to this one. And then go to that last one that tends to try and hide on you at the base of your chain there. And let me start that again. This is fun. It really, truly is. I really enjoy doing this stitch. Okay, so now we have what looks like that, right? Take your work down here and flip it up. Now go to that first block. See where I'm pointing? That first block, and slip stitch into that first chain 3 space. And then you're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 more double crochets into that chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So there's that one. Now we're going to go over here to this last block and we are going to slip stitch into that chain 3 space like that. Chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. 3 more double crochets into that space, chain 3 space. 2, well, my hands are really cold and frozen, so it's really hard for me to crochet when my hands are feeling like this. Okay, so there we go. Now we have 3 rows completed. So here's our row 1, here's our row 2, and 1, 2, 3. There's our row 3. So the way I learned this actually from Mikey over at the Crochet Crowd. Like he said, imagine you're walking up a mountain or you're walking up steps as you're creating each of your blocks. If you put that visual into your head, you should be able to go along with it. Okay, so now we have three blocks. Sorry, I got sidetracked for a moment. All right, so now we're going to do our chain 6 again because we're going to create another row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm only going to start this row with you, and then I'm going to leave you on your own. And then I'm going to finish this off, like I said, until I get to row 7. And then I'll come back when I'm on row 7. All right, so now what are we going to do? We're going to flip our work up, and we need to connect them. So we're going to slip stitch into that first chain 3 space that we created. 1, 2, 3. 1, I'm all tangled. 2, and 3. Okay, so now you can see I'm starting my next row. So this is block 1, block 2. Now I'm going to climb that mountain, and I'm going to go to 3 and then 4, and that's going to show you, that how many rows you have again. So 1, 2, 3, we're starting on row 4 because once we put a block into this chain 3 space and this chain 3 space, that's going to give us 4 blocks. Now remember, you are chaining 6 at the end of each row until you get done with row 7. When you get done with row 7, stop, and I will be right back with you to show you what you need to do, okay? Okay, I just wanted to come back on here and show you that I finished row 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look at your peaks, you can see you're on row 4. And now we're going to chain 6 again, and we're going to create another block. Okay, so that's how we should look when we have row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops, sorry, I was out of camera frame. So there is how row 5 looks. Okay, I'll be back. All right, I'm not done with row 7 yet. I'm only done with row 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we are going to chain 6 and create our last block. This is also known as increasing when you're doing this. But that's for a whole nother time and place. 3, 4, why is my yarn giving me tension? 5 and 6. Oh, maybe because I need to pull more out of the skein. I need to buy more of this green yarn. This is actually my last bit of it. All right, so come on, hands, unfreeze. So I'm creating my last block as best as I can. Okay, so there we go. And then we take this whole piece and flip it up. Slip stitching 1, 2, oops, 3. Okay, I'm going to finish this up on the row 7, and then I will be back for row number 8 to show you how to get that straight edge that you need to sew all 4 of your triangles together. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm coming back because I'm at the end of row number 7. My yarn is just giving me all kinds of fits right now. Okay. And then we got one more block to make. 2 and 3. Okay. So now you are at the end of your row 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so you know you did something right. And trust me, you will know if you miss a chain 3 space in there and you go to the next one, you will know because it's going to look all wonky and funky. Okay, so we're at row 7. Remember, we do not want our edge to look like that on row 8. We want a straight edge, right? Okay, hold on one second. All right, I am back. Let's get this edging on. Let's make it a straight edge, okay? It's gonna make it look really pretty. All right, so now instead of chaining 6, we're gonna chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in your second chain from your hook, you're gonna single crochet, okay? And then you're gonna double crochet in the last 2 chains. So 1 and 2, okay? So that's what it'll look like, and there's a reason for that. Now we're going to flip our work up, and we're going to come up here. We're going to do this. 2, 3, I think. Hold on, let me ignore what I just did. We're going to slip stitch. See, my brain's like wanting to make this bigger. Okay, we're going to slip stitch, and then we're going to go in and I'm going to single crochet and then 2 double crochets. And 2. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. And we're going to slip stitch, single crochet, and then 2 double crochets. And it's going to become very obvious that this is going to be a straight edge. So slip stitch into the next. And then single. And then 2 doubles. And see how you're getting a straight edge already? Okay. Oh, hey, my yarn wanted to make an appearance. All right. All right, and then we're going to slip stitch again. And then single crochet. And then a double. And another double. We'll go to the next, slip stitch, single, 2 doubles, and then here, oops, nope, ignore that, slip stitch, single crochet. See, my brain still wants to make this thing bigger. And then last one, slip, single, 1 and 2, and then you're done. And you have a flat edge to make your sewing easier. So then you'll make your 4 triangles and then you will connect. And mine looks wonky because I suck at sewing, but then you will connect them all and make a dishcloth. Okay. So again, not really a tutorial. This is for demonstration purposes to help out a YouTuber friend. I actually had a couple of people who said they were struggling on this week's dishcloth. And I get it. If you've never done corner to corner, I get it. Corner to corner is very easy for some, and for others, it's like a lot because there's a lot of process involved and a lot of steps and counting until you get used to it. So anyways, Tasha, I hope this helped you out some. And then Valerie, I think it was Valerie. Anyways, I don't know what she was struggling with on this week's dishcloth, but I know for sure Tasha said that she needed help with the triangles. So I hope this helped you. If you need any more help, please feel free to email me or comment in the description box down below, and I will do my best to help you, or I will reach out to some Yarny sisters to see what we can do to help you, okay? All right, you got this, girl. I really trust that you've got this, so take your time. You can do it. All right. I'm going to go. I've got a bunch of stuff I need to do today, but again, if I don't come back with another video, love, hugs, and prayers to you all, and stay safe out there, and stay crafty, and I'll see you all again soon.